Listen to me. Sometimes the person who destroys you isn't your enemy. It's the person who knows your routine. The person who knows what time you relax. The person who can call you somewhere and you won't even think twice about going. This story happened in New Haven, Connecticut, and it didn't begin with gunshots. It began with love. Dante Mitchell and Alicia grew up together. High school sweethearts. Same hallways, same bus rides, same bleachers after school. Dante was tall early, long arms, smooth jumper. Even as a sophomore, people said he was different. Not just athletic, disciplined. Alicia was there before the hype, before the college scouts, before the highlight reels, before anybody outside New Haven knew his name. They went to prom together. They talked about getting out together. They talked about building something. Then they had Aaliyah, 2 years old, big eyes like Dante, smile like Alicia. For a while it felt solid. Then basketball started moving fast. UMass called. Dante stepped on that campus like he belonged there. 5 a.m. workouts, extra reps when practice ended, film sessions when other freshmen were at parties. First game off the bench, 12 points. Second game, 18. Third game he earned the start, 27. The arena started learning his name. Then he exploded. 40 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, triple-double. Next game, 38 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, 3 steals. Another triple-double. Third game, 55 points. His name started buzzing in blogs. Local reporters mentioned him as a breakout freshman. Scouts started showing up quietly. But Dante wasn't just playing for himself. He had Aaliyah. And college athletes don't see real money yet. So when a student from Buffalo leaned across a cafeteria table and asked, "You ever move weed?" Dante didn't laugh. "I could," he said. "Ain't really nothing in it for me, though." "What if there was?" the kid from Buffalo said. 30 pounds to start, then more. That night, Dante laid in his dorm staring at the ceiling. He thought about Aaliyah. He thought about the future. He told himself it would be temporary. He said yes. After that, he lived 2 lives. By day, he was the athlete. Practice, classes, games. By night, he moved weight carefully. Mostly rich college kids. No drama, no noise. Within months, he stacked over $100,000. Back in New Haven, Alicia felt the shift. She wasn't on campus. She wasn't in the spotlight. She was home with Aaliyah. And the more Dante's name grew, the smaller she felt standing next to it. One night after a game, 2 girls ran up to Dante outside the arena. One grabbed his arm. He pulled away immediately. But Alicia saw it. And resentment doesn't need facts. It only needs imagination. Weeks later, girls' night, 5 of them, they chose the Alley Cat. The Alley Cat wasn't just another club. It was one of the biggest nightlife spots in New Haven, and it belonged to Barry, aka Blackberry. Barry wasn't loud. He didn't need to be. He was from that older street era, the kind of man who transitioned from street money into visible businesses without ever fully disconnecting from either world. He owned the Alley Cat. He owned car dealerships. He owned multiple properties across the city. On paper, he was a businessman. Off paper, he was strategic. One of his businesses was bleeding quietly, not failing publicly, just draining. And Barry had a rule. He never burned his own reserves to save something weak. He acquired new liquidity. He redirected. He repositioned. He was married, but nobody saw his wife. He kept compartments. When Alicia walked into the Alley Cat that night, Barry noticed her immediately. He didn't approach. He sent 5 bottles of Moet Rosé to her table, a gallon of orange juice. The gesture said enough. Then a message came. "Barry wants to see you." She stepped into his office. "I know Dante," Barry said calmly. "Everybody knows Dante," she replied. Barry smiled slightly. "I know more than most." That was the beginning. Over the next weeks, Alicia's life started changing. Luxury hotels, the Ritz-Carlton, the Westin, designer bags, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, furs for her, little outfits for Aaliyah. Barry didn't trash Dante, he planted one sentence. You deserve more. And resentment did the rest. Meanwhile, Dante was balancing two lives, basketball and weight, practice and pressure, film study and phone calls that didn't show up in his contacts by real names. On the court, he was rising. UMass had a stretch of 3 nationally televised games. First one, 40 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists. Second, 38, 10, and 10. Third, 55 points. Commentators started saying things like NBA frame, lottery potential, future pro. Back home in New Haven, people were claiming him proudly. That's our boy. Kids at the park were yelling, Mitchell, every time they shot a jumper. But Alicia wasn't at those games. She was in New Haven. And Barry was consistent. Dinner reservations, private sections, hotel suites, conversations that made her feel seen. You sitting in the house while he out there becoming a star, Barry would say casually. You think that changes how people treat you? It wasn't loud manipulation. It was subtle, calculated. He knew Dante was stacking money. He knew Dante was moving weight. He knew Dante had liquidity. And one of Barry's businesses was bleeding. He refused to tap his own reserves. He didn't move emotional. He moved strategic. Alicia started staying out later, started dressing different. When Dante came home one weekend, he noticed it immediately. New living room set, new television mounted on the wall, designer bags sitting open like decoration. And outside, a brand new 2026 Mercedes. You saved up for that? Dante asked calmly. Yeah, Alicia replied without looking at him. You saved up for a Benz. I'm not explaining nothing to you. The conversation ended there. Dante didn't argue. He picked up Aaliyah, took her outside, helped her ride her bike, held the back of her roller skates while she laughed. He was focused on his daughter. Alicia was focused on something else. One afternoon, Dante was in the living room when his assistant coach called. 5 a.m. workout reminder. When he reached for his phone, a woman's face popped up on the screen, her contact picture. Alicia saw it. She sighed. Do whatever you want, she said flatly. We not together. I'm just here because we got a baby. He tried to explain. She was already gone emotionally. Later that week, she sat alone in the kitchen, looking at the Benz outside, looking at the designer bags, looking at the life Barry was providing. Resentment had turned into justification. She picked up her phone. I'm ready. The response came fast. Friday. Barry's struggling business needed cash flow. Dante had it. Young, stacked, trusting. Friday came. Alicia called Dante. Come through. He didn't hesitate, because routine builds comfort. He pulled up like he always did. They sat on the couch, light conversation, almost normal. Aaliyah wasn't there that night. It was quiet. At 9 p.m., Barry and his accomplice broke into Dante's car, retrieving 15 pounds of weed and $20,000. 9:15. I'm about to grab something to drink, Alicia said. You want one? Yeah. She walked into the kitchen, sent the text. I'm in the kitchen. Then she called out, Dante, come here. He stood up slowly, stretched his arms, took a few steps toward the kitchen. The first shot shattered the living room window. Blow! The bullet struck him in the back. His body jerked forward. Then rapid gunfire erupted. Glass exploded. Bullets tore through the room. Another round struck him in the head as he fell. Dante Mitchell collapsed face first onto the floor. In the kitchen, Alicia deleted the text, deleted the call log. Then she dialed 911. They shot him. Please hurry. Sirens flooded the block, blue lights flashing against the houses. Neighbors stepped outside in disbelief. Yo, that's Dante. Paramedics rushed in, but it was already over. News spread through New Haven like wildfire. UMass held a moment of silence before their next game. Teammates stood on the court with their heads down. Students packed the stands wearing his jersey. Back in New Haven, murals started appearing. Dante rising for a jumper. Dante mid-crossover. Dante frozen in paint on brick walls. Local gyms held tournaments called the Dante Mitchell Classic. A youth foundation was created in his name. Kids played under banners with his face on them. People talked about what could have been. NBA dreams, draft night, a father walking his daughter to school. But Aaliyah grew up without him. She would hear stories about the man he was. She would see murals of him on walls, but she would never hear his voice again. Barry repositioned his failing business quietly. Cash flow stabilized, empire intact. Alicia kept the Mercedes, kept the bags, kept the lifestyle. But guilt doesn't sleep easy. Every siren sounds closer. Every knock feels heavier. All of it started with one sentence: "You deserve more." One phone call, one betrayal. And just like that, Dante Mitchell was gone too soon. If you like this story, please like, share, and drop us a comment. Keep your eyes open. Don't get lined up.
Low key, positive vibes only. Don't sleep, the 9 is always on me. Smiles and faces, frowns is flagrant. Wild behavior, follow swine bacon.